Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on one thing, single barrels. Best of all, you can try before you buy. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to sign up for their email and text distribution so you know what they have in stock, what classes are coming up, and who from the industry may be coming in to visit. The ABV Barrel Shop. It's where single barrels live. We are also sponsored by the Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers traveling minibars that are no bigger than a small purse or toiletry bag. Best of all, they are fully customizable so you can create the perfect piece that is unique for you. If you own your own business, what a fun and unique way to promote what you do. Check them out online at thebar2go.com. That is the number 2 in the Bar to Go. If you have wholesale questions, call my friend Isabel Clark at 504-481-1297. Finally, we are sponsored by the Neely Family Distillery. NFD is a family-owned business that keeps ringing up awards in the spirits world. Head to Sparta, Kentucky to experience the family history, award-winning spirits, and meet the Neely family. Check them out online at neelyfamilydistillery.com. Now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show, we talk about the new high watermark for aging bourbon in Kentucky. My name is McNew. Please join me in welcoming my co-host, Steve Akeley, along with our special guests, Lori Mangum, Kathy Cole, Katie Proof the Reindeer.
Hey, gang, what's up?
Hey, guys.
Hey.
Hey-oh, so yes, Katie, for our listeners, is in a Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer outfit, like a onesie.
Full onesie, yes.
But she's renaming it. It's not going to be Rudolph. I don't know what she's going to come up with.
That's an either reindeer.
I like Katie Proof.
Katie Proof
the reindeer is good.
Katie Proof the reindeer. Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, there you go. Perfect. So we're going to be talking today about all that whiskey laying down in Kentucky and what all that means. We'll get to that after the break. For right now, KK says there's something she wanted to talk about. What is that?
Yes. So have you ever met someone and then realize you've met them in the past? Like had friends with someone and you realize, hey, I knew you from someplace else.
Maybe too much longer. Seems like
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's hear it.
Both in reality of this world and in a spiritual sense of I feel like connected you, like at some point in another life, like we were friends kind of a thing. Like,
sure.
Does that make sense?
It does.
So all the time I will run into people and I figure out that I went to grade school with them or high school with them or knew them, we're on the same softball team as kids. Being in a small town, that's just the thing that happens. Sometimes I meet people and they start calling me by name and I'm like, oh yes, hello person I definitely know. And I have no idea who they are.
Right. That's just me when I'm talking to her.
That happened just today. Someone at Walgreens was like, oh, hey, Katie, Merry Christmas. And they walked away. And thankfully I was talking to another person and I go, who was that? I have no idea who that was. And once they said the name, then I knew I got the connections. Knew who it was. But I have found some people where we both didn't realize it until later. And we're like, what? We're both at that camp. We were both at that one thing before and as a kid. And it's really, really cool to find that connection. I really like it when that happens.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that was Kathy's question at all, but that was the rant I went on.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Kind of where I was going. Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else have some sort of connection to someone that they had way before and then reconnected?
I have a bad habit of if I'm out at an event and I'm drinking a lot, everybody is my best friend. And then I will see them later down the road and I'm like, what's their name? I'm such an asshole. I know this person, but I don't know this person.
Right.
And they remember me and I'm like, shit, I don't know their name. And then it's too awkward to ask. So I'm hoping somebody else around will say their name so I don't have to be a jerk.
Yeah.
You gotta have a good name wingman for that. And so hopefully it's your significant other because they're usually most likely with you. But having a good wingman for that, like my mom's really good at it, and we both and I book back and forth. We can tell if the other person doesn't remember the person's name but should. And so then the person who clearly knows it's safe to not know their name will step in and be like, hi, my name is blank. What's your, and so just like make the introduction, not waiting for the other person to introduce you. And it helps. So you got to have a good name wingman.
Yeah.
Either that or just be really good at making people think you know who they are without ever having to actually say their name. You know, like just be really warm and like echo some of the things that they say. And it's you can definitely warm that up a little bit.
Son of a gun.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Lori, you got anything like this? Any connections? That,
I had a really awkward one fairly recently. I serve on this nonprofit board here in Louisville. I'm not going to say what it is because somebody's going to hear this episode and be like, oh my gosh, that was Lori. A lady on that board, lovely, lovely, lovely human being. And every single time I see her and her husband's name listed on something, the husband's name reminds me of this really punk kid that I went to middle school with. I mean, he was like the worst ever. He went out of his way to make people miserable, and everybody hated this punk. And I'm like, I hear that name and I think, oh gosh, I wonder what that loser's up to. So one day I said that out loud in a group of people with that lady. I'm like, your husband's name, I have to tell you this, reminds me of this horrible guy that I went to middle school with at this place. And he was just the worst punk ever. She was like, yeah, that's my husband. I'm like, oh.
That worked out well. That worked out well. Yeah.
It's like, well, she was like, you know what? He probably was a punk when he was 14. So that's fair.
It's fair. He's evolved. I'm sure I've got stuff like this too. I can't think of anything right now. I can't come up with one, but there's got to be some out there. It seems like weird stuff happens.
There are some people who are really good at recognizing that. So like my brother is one of those people that we could be walking down a store in any city and he'll be like, oh, I played soccer with that kid when I was 8. Like, and he will know their name, their family's name, like their parents' names. Like, he will remember all of the details just from seeing their name. So, and we've been telling him for years, like, you really should be a politician because you're fantastic at remembering people. So we were one time in Dillard's or Macy's, something at the mall.
Right.
And all of a sudden my brother goes, oh, that's the person who won. And it was some game show of like, it was like on Animal Planet. It was a game show on Animal Planet. So not even like, you're watching this on me.
You know your brother's really full of shit, and he just makes this stuff up. No way.
So he went up to the lady as like a 10-year-old or whatever, mom with him, and was like, "Oh, you're blank who won on blank whatever show." And she was like, "Oh my gosh, yeah, I can't believe you recognize me." He is so good at it. And then we'll be walking down Walmart and be like, "Oh, there's Joe. I played soccer with her sister Sam." When I was in first grade. I'm like, well, he could totally bullshit me, but I had no idea because I could be a person.
Does he have a great memory otherwise, or just names and faces?
I mean, he doesn't have like a bad memory, but it's the names and faces that really impress me. And so it's like him that make the rest of us feel uncomfortable. They're like, we don't remember this person.
I got a story about him. So I went to your party. And I saw it was your brother, and so I went up and introduced myself. He hi-hatted me, just gave me the and just turned the other way. I said, "I'm Steve Akeley. I have a podcast with Katie." He's like, "Oh," and turned the other way. Kathy saw it. She was there. She was like, "Oh, he blew you off." Like, I guess he didn't want to meet me. I don't know.
He's like, "Oh."
But you know what? If you ever run into them in Walmart, they're going to know. He's going to know exactly who you are.
That's that guy who introduces himself.
First time he blows you up. Now, second time, if he ever sees you at another event, he'd be like, "Oh, Steve Akeley, who podcasts with Katie." Come on, so nice to see you again.
Yeah, that was funny.
We'll have to test that somehow.
Good. Yeah. Well, KK, you asked the question. Any of these events for you?
Yeah, so in college, gym in college, you have to take it, but it's dumb.
Gym.
I had to get like 2 credits of a gym.
No. In high school, I took gym, but not in college.
In high school, I did not take it.
It was a liberal arts college. They required us to
take gym.
Yeah.
We didn't even have gym class. There was no gym class at my school. There was things like archery and bowling, weird things, but not like a gym class.
My cousin's husband doesn't have a degree because he didn't go to his bowling class. He failed bowling.
We did have like
what?
But
I went to bowling class because it was easy.
not going.
That was great.
This
That
is
was
only
terrible.
Fun
credit.
fact, my brother almost got an F in weightlifting for not going to class in college.
Wow. That's pretty terrible.
Okay, so we're admitting that there is some sort of gym in college. I don't remember what the class was called. So we had to run 2 miles.
Okay.
All of
I
the
think this is
classes
high
get
school you're
together,
thinking of,
and
actually.
it's like you had
It's
to
a
do
high school memory.
sit-ups. No, this is college.
Yeah,
Sit-ups,
this is the
and
presidential
push-ups,
test. Yeah, I remember this. It was a high school thing.
and run 2 miles, and you had to do it in a certain amount of time. Well, I always failed the 2-mile run.
Uh-huh.
So the last time I have to do this, because we had to do it a couple times, and last time I had to do it, I decided I'm just going to pick somebody who looks like they're, about my height and speed, and I'm just going to pace with them, and maybe
Okay.
I won't fail
It's a
so
good plan.
badly.
It's a good plan.
And so the person I pick starts walking, and they walk so freaking fast that I can't even jog to keep up with them.
Right.
So I just throw my hands up and say, just fuck it. Fuck it.
Fuck
And
it.
I just start walking and decide I'm going to fail the 2-mile run again.
Sure.
2 mile though? That's ridiculous.
2 miles.
Yeah.
So later on, my best friend, who I met later in college, and I were talking, and I was like,
So she wasn't your best friend right now?
she's my best friend now, but she wasn't my best friend when I was
She was just a
doing the
person.
test.
She was just a person.
She was, and so we became friends.
This was high
in
school, by
college.
the way.
Oh my God. We became friends in college, and we're talking, and she's telling this story about how she outwalked this poor girl who couldn't keep up with her running in the 2-mile run. And I was like, yeah, that was me.
So she was aware you were trying to keep up.
Yeah, because I was like, hey, I'm just going to pace with you if that's okay. And she's like,
Oh.
sure. And she starts walking, and I'm jogging, and I can't even keep up. And I
Did
throw
she
my
do that
hands
thing with the
up.
arms when this
Oh,
fast
God, the
walkers?
power walkers.
Yeah.
She
The
could
mall
have.
ladies.
Yeah.
I'm sure she passed, but I failed.
Sure.
And later on, she's telling the story, and I had to be like, yeah, that was me.
That was you.
So-
Okay.
It's like the perfect situation too, because you had that brief moment of interaction where you saw each other's faces, but for the rest of it, she could just sense you behind her, and you could just see the back of her head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At
Nice.
least she wasn't like this weird girl just followed me the whole time, not even keeping up. It could have been worse.
Yeah,
Well,
you
everyone
were
was
That's
going to
true.
the same
That's true.
place, so it wasn't like I was following her randomly.
Oh.
We were all on the same path.
Mm.
Anyway,
Yeah.
It does. Okay, this brings me to another question. Have you all ever been running to the point where all of a sudden you felt like you got into like a rhythm, and even though you had been running for a while and were tired, like all of a sudden like the tiredness of your legs went away, and you're like, I could keep running, and like
Oh, yeah.
it just felt easier.
This one time I was running to the refrigerator from the couch, and I kept the jog up the whole way. The whole way, because I wanted to get back before the commercials were on. So
Yeah.
There you
So
go.
that's the extent of my
Yeah, I
jog.
relate way more to that.
run, but I do have this thing back there that likes to run because like I try to walk Saint. He's not always a walker.
There he is.
He did the shout out, yeah.
I don't have a choice. So I run with him when he forces me, but it doesn't feel like running. It's just like, oh, I'm out with my dog. This is kind of enjoyable. But if I were to run like that on my own, I'd be like, this is the worst fucking decision I've ever made. This
Okay.
is horrible.
Saint helps pace you.
Saint
Many
does what
paces.
Saint's gonna do, and I just gotta keep up or lose him.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
well, if
Okay.
you're ever in a bar later on and he starts telling this story about this crazy lady, follows him everywhere.
it's like
Yeah.
she calls herself my mom. I don't know.
She's crazy. All right. Well, there you go. There you go. On that note, guess what, gang? It's time to drink. What is everyone drinking? Let's start with KK. So you
Oh, okay.
Go to her first.
I am going to open up my Cedar Ridge Bottle and Bond.
Okay. Just right on the set.
Damn it.
Effort.
Sound like a barrel rolling across the floor.
That was a winner right there in my heart.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
great.
That was nice. That was nice.
It was kind of like that 2-mile run.
Yeah. Katie,
Yeah.
you're next. What do you
If there
got?
was a sound for me doing a 2-mile run, that's exactly what happened. Played. Okay, I have Good Deed malt whiskey. Fun fact, I don't have a single actual bourbon for our recordings of the Bourbon Daily tonight because they haven't exactly been moved over from my old house yet. So we're going to go with... excuse me, sir. Can you be quiet in the background? Okay, thank you.
Random studio person. Okay. No. Kathy's still got the lead.
No way.
All right. Lori, you're next.
You know, I don't know if I'm going to have much because I just had shoulder surgery. And so I had to like very slowly get the corks almost all the way out because I can't pull it in one swift motion. So I don't know what's going to happen here, but this is a single barrel from Boone County.
Okay. She's so dedicated to her cork pulling though. She only does it with one arm. She won't switch to the other arm.
It's like sandwiched between me and the desk, and I'm hoping I don't spill it everywhere.
Like Lori's a trooper. I think she gets points for just not going screw cap.
Yeah.
Still,
could have gone screw cap. She didn't. Could have just said, "Hey, I just have cocktails tonight." She didn't. She's here. All right, McNew, you're next. Kathy's got the lead.
Have the Halloween batch of Rye 3 from the ABV Barrel Shop, the 666 group.
Okay. All right. I think that has our lead right now.
Yeah.
So it's a weak field at this point. Char number 1 rye, Buzzard's Roost, ABV Network, Whiskey of the Year. Here we go. And the cork pop tonight. There you go. There it is. That's what they've referred to as a winner. Cheers, gang.
Cheers.
All right. We're going to take a quick break. And then when we come back, we're going to be talking about 12.7 million barrels of bourbon aging in Kentucky. We'll do that in just a few. Okay, let's talk about the people that make these shows happen. First up is the Stave and Thief Society. Via their in-person class at Moonshine University in Louisville, Kentucky, the Stave and Thief Society is the place where you, a bourbon enthusiast, can expand your knowledge and emerge an executive bourbon steward. In 2017, I completed my executive bourbon steward certification. It's the most comprehensive bourbon certification available and connects you with an expansive network of bourbon enthusiasts and professionals. Check out the full listing of in-person and online certifications and join the society today by enrolling at staveandthief.com. Speaking of executive bourbon steward certification, the ABV Barrel Shop in St. Louis, Missouri has developed a unique partnership with the Stave and Thief Society to offer a preparatory class to assist you in getting your executive bourbon steward certification. This prep class costs only $25 and is available to take live or online via Zoom. Graduates of our class receive a coupon code good for 15% off your executive bourbon steward certification held in Louisville, Kentucky. This saves you almost $90. Additionally, you can collaborate with fellow attendees to split travel costs when you go to Louisville. If you're interested in signing up for the class, simply head over to abvbarrelshop.com and check out the classes and events page. Last but not least, we are sponsored by Neely Family Distillery. Royce Neely is the 11th generation distiller in one of America's oldest distilling families. A visit to Neely Family Distillery takes you through family history, where you can see all the artifacts and newspaper clippings through the years from this family that started distilling in America after James Neely arrived from Northern Ireland in 1740. Today, Royce Neely and his team are crafting some of the best spirits in America. Their bourbon and absinthe offerings keep winning top honors in the spirits competitions. Recently, their absinthe made history as the first platinum winner in the absinthe category at the San Francisco Spirits Competition. Neely Family Distillery is definitely a bucket list destination if you are a bourbon fan. Learn more about their spirit offerings, visiting their facility, and the awards they have collected over at neelyfamilydistillery.com.
This is Kathy Cole. I am not KK Poppins, and you are listening to the Bourbon Daily.
Welcome back to the Bourbon Daily. Today we are talking about the new high of 12.7 million barrels aging in the state of Kentucky.
Yes, we are. I remember it was a big deal when the number of barrels aging equated out to barrel per person in Kentucky. And then it was also another benchmark when it was 2 barrels per person. Now
We're getting close to 3 now.
yeah. Now we're getting up there where we're talking 3 barrels a person. So yeah, those numbers just keep increasing. So this growth, this new distilleries, this expansions at distilleries, there's just more and more bourbon being laid down. So it just begs the question: is when this stuff is ready, are consumers ready? Are we gonna still be this much into it? I think this group is. Is the whole industry though? Is all are we gonna still see the growth?
I think
So
the
my
large part of it-
research. Oh, go ahead, Katie.
No, you actually researched. I feel like you should go first.
Oh, okay. My research showed me it's been about 1.2 million a year for the last 3 years.
Okay.
So that means this time next year we'll be talking about maybe 13.9 million
Yeah.
barrels.
Yeah. Close to 14 million at that point. So.
That's a lot of space to take up.
It is. Kentucky has space though, so
Yeah,
we're good.
they've
They're
got
not running out of room just yet. So
That's true. And most frac houses go up, so we're doing vertical space.
we're going up.
That's
We're going
right.
up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's good to know. All right.
I don't. So even like right now, us as bourbon drinkers, there's always going to be new bourbon drinkers. Somebody turns 21 every single year. There's going to be plenty of people to drink this bourbon.
Right. Yeah, I think we're still at solid growth time in bourbon. At some point, it's going to tail off. Or consumer interests are going to change. It's not going to. The bottom's not going to totally drop out. But tastes do change. But I don't think we're anywhere near that yet. I think we're in the middle, still a pretty solid upward trajectory of new people coming in and expanding their thing, their love for bourbon and traveling around bourbon and all those things that we do. There's a lot more people besides us doing it. So I think there's good times ahead.
And isn't bourbon getting popular in places like India and around the world?
I mean, so yeah.
That's a lot of people to keep,
Yeah. So you got to have a lot laying down. So that's what you do.
So I hope that companies stop being stupid about it. Like, you have enough. Stop allocating things. Make it available. You have money. You do. Quit allocating it.
Yeah. Katie, what do you want to say?
Well, I think a big part of it is going to be the pricing of it. I think there's a lot of good whiskey right now that's so stupid on the secondary market. So I'm hoping that we will have more whiskey than without secondary market, so that we can enjoy the really good crafted whiskey without having to deal with the supply issues. My concern though is that even if they're making this extra whiskey, what are we doing with the distribution? So if the distribution issues that have been a block in the past aren't changed or fixed, will this force them to change though? So where they've been allocated in different areas before, will the increase in production change that entire system as well of how they're being distributed?
Yeah. That makes you wonder for sure. What's going to happen with all that kind of stuff, allocations, and
especially when we're seeing distillers offer things that are higher priced to begin with.
Yeah, like that's a big time trend, Kathy. You're right.
Yeah.
I mean, how many bottles these days are coming out over $200?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, you think like Four Roses limited edition, you get them for $85 not that long ago. Now it's like $269. Okay, all the special ones are $200 to $400 plus. So.
Yeah, my friend Drew just actually had a post tonight about Boone County has a 10-year-old that's $249.
Wow, really?
That's insane. That's absolutely bonkers for it's a sort. I mean, nothing's wrong with sourcing. I like source bourbons, but $250 is insane.
$250.
That's wild.
Yeah,
that is wild. So we just continue to see crazier prices. So, at some point that could be the thing that turns consumers off if it prices itself out of people's ability to pay for it.
Yeah,
certainly that's
when they're laying it down. It's out there.
It's out there. And I think what would happen was like bourbon drinkers, like we like flavor. I don't think we're going to go to Scotch or Irish. But rum is right there. Then there's some pricey rums, but they're not all this stupid. So what if we I think a lot of people might jump ship to be rum drinkers.
I don't know about that, because I was a rum drinker before I was a whiskey drinker. I don't see myself going back. I struggle with the sweetness of it. However, I could see myself jumping to tequila.
Tequila.
So-
That's what I was
Best
gonna say.
seller. I could go
Tequila,
that way.
I absolutely would jump to.
And it's one of the best selling spirits, might be the best selling spirit. So tequila, yeah, there's other options. I think if bourbon gets out of hand, we'll be like, you know what? We can go like other things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay then, because look at all the whiskey they've laid down for us that we're not
Right.
going anywhere. We know we're not going anywhere.
I'm not jumping anywhere
No.
else.
No.
Yeah.
I just like
I
to make
can't.
threats. I'm not going anywhere either, but
I like to make threats.
and I don't
Yeah.
care.
I'm team bourbon no matter what.
Oh.
So it's like if you love a football team or a baseball team or whatever it is, and they do good, you love them, and then when they do bad, you might be frustrated, but you still love them, right? So that's kind of where we're at, I think. We're definitely all team bourbon. So we want things to go well. I want the companies to be profitable. We want them to innovate. We want them to come up with new things,
Absolutely.
and,
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. But we also want it to be accessible. And you hear all this crazy stuff like, and I don't know because I don't drink scotch, but I hear people say, in scotch, if you want to get to the really good stuff, it's $2,000 or $3,000 a bottle. Well, I'll never be at the point where I'm dropping $2,000 or $3,000 for bottles of bourbon to drink. There's not a scenario that I drink too much of it. I need to be in that. Maybe a $200 bottle is okay every once in a while for a treat or something that you pour slow for special occasions. But I'm definitely not going to ever be the $2,000-$3,000 bottle.
No, never.
Think of single
I bought too many cars for less than that.
But I think it's a matter of it's still whiskey at the end of the day. And so
Right.
you hit that cap of, okay, yeah, I would, there's many $25 bottles that I absolutely love. And occasionally I will find that bottle around the $200 range where I'm like, dang, that's good to enjoy on occasion. But above that,
Right.
it's still whiskey. There's a limit there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I'm
my
not-
if I'm going to spend $2,000, why would I not go to the ABV barrel shop and be like, I got, look how all these great bottles I got.
Right.
Right,
We'll fill your whole
yeah.
trunk for $2,000. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Been there, done that.
Katie now has a second shelf. So, yes, we're hoping
That's great.
for a Christmas miracle. If she shows up, yes, we'll come in.
Well, you're open
we need
the
to
2
get one-
extra hours on Christmas Eve. Maybe that'll be when I
Yes.
can show up.
Oh, man, that would be amazing. Yeah. That'd be a true Christmas miracle. We'll be high-fiving and get one of those, those thrones like you carry in, where it's like 4 bars where we'll carry Katie in so she can.
Cleopatra.
Yeah.
That's the goal right there. I want to be carried into the ABV barrel shop. With Cleopatra style.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
except they'd probably hit your head on the door.
Probably, of course.
Yeah, especially when you combine my height and Steve's. We're not making
Yeah.
through any doorways
Yeah.
up.
Right,
But
right.
Yep.
No,
just
no.
go in circles around the speakeasy, then we're good.
Yeah, there you go. Fair enough. On that note, guess what? It's time to talk about where people can find us. Lori, we'll start with you. Where can people find you?
Yeah, y'all can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Spirited Curves.
All right, Katie.
You can find me maybe bringing a Christmas miracle to the ABV barrel shop. Although you'll know about it later by the time you hear this. But also over on Instagram at Katie Proof.
All right, Kathy.
I am on Instagram at KKCastStrength.
McNew.
I'm on Instagram at McNew ABV.
For me, I'm an easy guy to find. I'm at Steve Akeley on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. You've also got a company website. That thing's abvnetwork.com. You got to check that one out. Everything that we do is out there. Previous shows, blogs, so much more. abvnetwork.com. Come by and see us, the ABV Barrel Shop. You never know who's going to be there. Maybe Katie will be there. KK's always there, and McNew's there quite a bit, too. So it's a fun place to go. Maybe one day my dream will come true, and Lori Mangum will come walking through the doors.
Hey, guess what?
I
I got
hope
a
I'm
week
there
off
that day.
coming up in February, and I've got no
Hey.
plans.
Okay,
I may have
okay.
to do a swing through St. Lou.
Yes, absolutely,
There you
absolutely.
go.
Look,
Yeah.
Lori, if you do, I have nothing going on in February. Let me know. I'll
Yeah,
drive.
Oh,
let
I'll
her
come
know.
pick you up. We'll
There you
go.
go.
Even better. Even better.
Yay,
Perfect.
road trip.
Perfect.
Even
All
though
right.
I make no promises.
So check us out online, abvbarrelshop.com. McNew, anything else to say before we get out of here?
I'd like to remind the audience to please give us a 5-star review. That includes comments. It helps new people find the show, which is very important to us. And if you like what we're doing, we ask that you please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/the ABV Network.
Great job today, gang fartants. We'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
Later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Peace. Before we let you go, let's talk about one last thing, the ABV Barrel Shop in the St. Louis community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on a couple of things. First of all, single barrels. We are the place where single barrels live. We go to distilleries, taste through the whiskey, select the best barrel, and have it shipped to our store where we present it to you, our customers, by allowing you to try before you buy. We're also known for the classes that we have in our education center in the store, as well as the events we have with industry professionals from the bourbon business. If you are in the St. Louis area, please come by and visit us at 6 Fox Valley Center in Arnold, Missouri. Or at a minimum, at least sign up for our email and text distribution so you know exactly what's going on in our shop over at abvbarrelshop.com. This is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network, signing off. We thank you for listening to our programming and truly appreciate your support.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.